Welcome to the Confessions of a Plant-Powered Sisterhood, where we discuss sex, life, and aging in our 40s, 50s, and 60s with our hosts, Brooke Ali, Catherine Lawrence, and me, Patricia Thompson.
Today, we are going to talk about plant-based burgers and why they're here. You know, what's the point? Number one, are they more sustainable for the planet? Are they good for us?
Mm-hmm.
And if they are, which ones are better for us? And how did they taste? So we have a special guest with us, and I'll let Catherine introduce Dana. But we're going to do a quick taste test of different burgers and give our opinion on that.
Yes.
So Catherine, please.
All right. So hi, everyone.
Hey.
So I got to taste these burgers last night. I did a taste test on my family with our 5 kids and my husband. So we're going to share that. And I have a lot of input about the burgers too. But I wanted to use Dana. This is Dana Thornburg. She's the executive director of our nonprofit Food Save Me Institute. And she is somewhat of a new vegan. I've been vegan for almost 20 years. And so I'm used to like making compromises in the food taste and stuff. But Dana's pretty new. What do you think? About a year?
A year,
So,
yes.
Yeah, about a year.
Wow.
And it's so awesome. I texted her late last night. I was like, I need you to be the guinea pig and try all these different burgers blindfolded. And she was like, well, okay, but I don't want to eat meat. Okay. So
Good answer.
I'm going to be trying our burgers here.
Nice.
So this is Dana.
Okay.
Hello.
All right. So who wants to go first? Patricia, you want to go first since you haven't done anything yet?
Are y'all going to be like eating and chewing or?
So this is what I did. So I found 5 different types. Well, I actually had 6, but I left the Beyond Beef because I figured you guys are going to be talking about that. I found 5 different burgers here that weren't on our list at our store up in upstate New York. And I was very, very impressed by the selection. So what I did was went ahead and cooked them. And during our taste testing, I will just take a bite of each. I just wanted to actually taste them without anything on them because that's kind of what I wanted to do. I didn't want to mess up, but I do have ketchup in case I don't like the taste. But you want me to show you the kinds that I got? Okay. So I have actual.
Oh, we got that one too.
Actual veggies. And I got the black bean burger one. And this actually is, I think this was the best one in terms of ingredients because it's only got 1.5 grams of fat per burger, no added sugar, and only 240 for sodium. So I'm very excited. It has no oil in it, which that's really rings my bell. So I'm interested to see how this one tastes. And then I have the no bull burger, the true veggie burger. And this is got 2.5 grams of fat per burger, and it's got 340 sodium. And this does not have any oil in it either. So there are 2 that don't have oil, which is a miracle because every single other one we'll find does. And then I have the not burger. And this has 21 grams of fat per burger.
Wow. I don't think we have that one in Texas.
What?
I don't think we have that one in Texas.
No. And then it has 470 mgs of sodium per burger. And this does have, it has coconut oil and sunflower oil in it. So that's another one. And then I have 2 more. I have Abbott's. And that's a whole burger. That's 7 grams of fat, 460 milligram sodium. And this does have, it only has avocado oil in it. So that's a little better. I don't like canola oil. I hate, really, I think that stuff is poison. And then I have Hillary's. Hillary's best, that's got 8 grams of fat, 220 mgs of sodium. And this does have oil, if I'm not yet, it has canola and or sunflower or safflower. It's like, why do they say and or? Don't they know what they put in it? Is this a mystery? I don't get that when they're just don't tell you what. So anyway, Like, if you don't know, I sure as hell don't know. Heck.
So
I
what are
sure
you
as
gonna
heck-
do? Are you gonna try it and tell us
So,
what you think of each one? Like you're gonna go like, this is
well, I
the,
am, but
Maybe you should.
I thought that you guys should try it because you just had
Yeah.
them prepared. So why don't you do it first?
What if
And then
you
I'll,
start like eating yours while we're introducing ours? So that
Okay.
way you're, yeah, do you think?
yeah.
okay, sure.
Okay.
So this is fun. We did this in our restaurant. We served different burgers and I was like, well, I want to see kind of which one people are more excited about. And so I brought in all of them and had people like, got like a little plate of sliders like that. And
Oh, yeah.
then they would vote which ones
Mhm.
they liked the best. So I'll tell you at
Mhm.
the end which one won, but the ones that we compared in the restaurant was Impossible and Beyond, because these are the easiest to get.
Mhm.
And then they also have the most meat feel texture at the time. And then also Hungry Planet, but they're based out of St. Louis. And I couldn't even find them in the grocery stores when I went today. I went to 2 different ones that I know they were supposed to be there. So I'm not sure what's
Hmm.
going on with Hungry Planet. But yeah, so I ended up getting a different one. This
Which one did you get?
the actual
Oh, the actual.
The
the
bean-
black
as a bean
burger.
burger. But the reason I like Hungry Planet is because it still tastes a lot like it has the same feel as the Beyond and the Impossible, but it has much less fat and higher protein content. So, but I think you can order them online. So if you are interested, it used to be where only restaurants could get them. And then they made it accessible. So when I had them at the restaurant, it was only, I could get it through a supplier, which is still, that was even hard for me to do. But now you can go online and order them and have them sent to your house.
Yeah, we tried to find them in Texas and I couldn't find them anywhere, except for like the
Yeah.
online ordering. Okay, that's good
Yeah,
to
I'm
know.
not sure what's going on with them. I guess it's the tough part about all these new brands, although Hungry Planet's been around for a little bit, for a
Yeah.
minute. So, Dana, do you want to do yours
So
first?
she
Which
doesn't
one are you
even
going to
know
do?
what she's eating.
That's it. No, I don't
Oh.
know either.
So we have the actual veggies black bean burger.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And so she doesn't know what order they're in or anything. Do y'all want me to go ahead and give my feedback since I ate these?
Yeah, I'm going to eat mine as you go. And I don't know which ones mine are
Okay.
either. They just have
Okay.
like a label underneath.
Okay, I'll tell you about ours and I'll give you our feedback while y'all are eating. So
Okay.
black bean burgers, and y'all see in the video, and I agreed. My kids all said when I make them eat a black bean burger, this is the best one they've ever had. And it's better than the one at Mooyah and like at some of the restaurants, and it's better than the like frozen Morningstar one. They felt like, so they like it. But for them, it had like the typical, like they were looking at it like, oh, is that a carrot? And it's still falling apart a little bit, but that's okay. So when we do black bean burgers, we'll probably move to this. And then Impossible. Well, I want to talk about Beyond first, because they just made a big change. So if you saw Dr. Greger's video comparing the nutrient comparison between Impossible and Beyond and regular meat, Beyond literally just launched a big change. So this is the one I have here. The one I think they've traded
Stack
out
burger.
coconut oil for avocado oil now.
Oh.
And it says it's 35% less saturated fat. Yeah. And so that's our Beyond Stack Burger. And then, but I had trouble with this one in the cooking process because for me, I did eat meat. You remember when you had meat?
my
See,
God.
it's different. This is the new one.
Look, the fat protein is 20 here. That one's only
Oh.
12.
Yeah, I wonder what that's about. But it might be a
Does
portion.
it have soy? Does it have gluten in it?
Nope, it says no soy, no gluten.
Okay, good.
But in the cooking product, I couldn't touch it because when I looked at it raw, I had to have my husband take it out of the bag because it looked like raw meat, but like after it's turned, you know how like when it's
Oh, the
gray,
gray.
I was like, and it was
Ew.
the texture was a little like, you know what I mean? Like scary. I was like, I can't
Slimy.
touch that. So the kids like this, they said it was pretty good. And that's kind of like once it was cooked, I felt like it was good. But I also took some pictures on the griddle. I wanted y'all to see how different they look when they're raw. And then we did Impossible. And this one, because we did them up, like we do them like how we eat burgers. We have onions, tomato, we have some sprouts or lettuce on there. We've got here's the better side. Violife or chow cheese maybe, and pickles. Like, so we wanted to give it like, make it its best self. For all of them. And when I bit into that Impossible Burger, I was like, oh, I felt like I was at a Greasy Spoon restaurant, like where like the sloppy griddle and there's like all the grease and all the dopamine and the fat. And I was like, oh, this is the meat lover's burger, in my opinion, because I'm, you know, before I changed my, like I'm famous for having double cheeseburgers for breakfast with Coke.
Oh my
Before I got
God.
sick. So I feel like I'm a burger connoisseur. And that Impossible, I was like, my dad would eat this and not know the difference. Like I really think this one was our favorite. So while Dana's eating, can I show y'all just a couple of pictures that I took? Let me make sure I can share, because
Give me taste test them.
oh yeah, you as
You know
many as
which
you
one's
want.
which?
Yes.
Have it.
Yes,
Oh.
I do.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, I do. Okay, so let me bring up these pictures of them cooking. You have to see this. Like, hopefully it'll just bring them all up. So this is what they look like raw, because I think, you know, the market for these, the ones that have like taste and texture of meat is for meat eaters, right? And so I thought, well, that's a thing. Can y'all, can you see it when I make it big? Can you see that?
We can see it.
So on the left is the Impossible. It's neat and tidy. And I just want to say, like, I appreciate that. We did go, my husband was like, what are those white chunks? And I said, well, maybe it's supposed to look like tendons in the ground beef or
Fat.
I
Yeah.
assume it's like oil. I don't know. And then the ones on the right, that's the Beyond that I couldn't touch. So that's what
gross. It does look gross.
raw out of the package. Did say the
Ooh.
was pretty good, but it has like an aftertaste that's I don't know. I wanted to show y'all on the grill as the cooking. If I have it, I'm sorry. There we go. So here's so like the Beyond is what's in the lower half. And you can see the grease comes out of both of them. So I'm not pretending they're low fat, but like the Beyond really kind of looked the most like a burger early in the cooking process. But eventually the Impossible, and I may not have a picture of the final one. Let me see here. Yeah, so this is the Impossible right there. And it looks, I mean, like it got crispy and charred. I did really like that. I like how they can both char on both sides and then still say juicy inside. That really, really made me happy. So I think that's like whatever they did to make that happen, that's really good. Okay, so I think
How do you get your mouth around that?
What?
How do you get
I
your
know.
mouth?
I was like, this is gonna be glorious. And
I don't know how you
we took like a little cup, like a little cup, and made them all small circles for pickle jars. I mean, for like sliders. So that's all of them. And see, the thing is, you can tell the real veggie one on the right. That's that healthier one, the actual veggies. So those are more like the ones Patricia's eating. But these two on the left, the Impossible and the Beyond, everybody agreed. Like if you had put those in front of them, not knowing that we were vegan, that you couldn't tell just looking at it. And so that was our family's, that was our 5 men's input. And our
fun. I bet they loved it.
They did. They were like, this is the best family dinner night ever. The little kids, the little ones didn't like the veggie burger so much because they could see the carrots. But what was interesting that I thought is because like the 6-year-old and the 10-year-old, so my 6-year-old has never ever had meat. So he does not like the texture of real meat. So he doesn't, the Impossible and the Beyond, that was a no-go. Like
that's so wonderful.
Used to that. So he likes the Morningstar veggie burger. It's just a little less visible on the veggies, but it doesn't have that texture. And then my 10-year-old, he has some sensory stuff, and he's real sensitive to texture. And even though he's been exposed to meat, he really doesn't like meat, which is common with kids who have what he has. And so
Mhm.
he would never eat the Beyond or Impossible either. He likes the Morning Star. It's very homogeneous looking, and but doesn't
Mhm.
have the meat texture. So okay, so
All
you've
right,
all tried them?
Dana,
Yes.
Dana?
Which one was your favorite?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, I liked the middle one.
Yeah.
Which one was that?
That's Impossible.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, well, it did. It tastes more like meat, and it didn't have kind of the after flavor. Like, this was my second one, probably. I don't know which one that was.
Oh yeah, that's the Beyond.
The Beyond. That one tasted good, but I don't know, it lingered, or I don't know.
It has
had-
a good aftertaste, right?
Yes, yeah. And this one, the actual,
Yeah.
it wasn't terrible. It just did not give me that burger feeling that I wanted, I think.
Mhm.
But the middle one, the Impossible, was definitely by far like, I want to put like, bacon on it. Like, veggie bacon, yes.
That's
And
like a
like make
true-
it, yeah. But I feel like it could be like a true greasy burger,
Mhm.
But that one by far was, yes,
Yeah.
much better than all the other ones.
Yeah, that's I felt like
Yeah.
I felt guilty after eating it, and that's a good indication of like a good burger.
Yes.
It's funny
Like,
because
I'm gonna
I,
finish that
yeah.
one for sure.
Okay. Okay, before we let you go, do you have anything else to add? Because I know you have work to do.
No, these were great. I'd be curious actually to see what they think too. Real quick.
Yeah.
I just
Let's
want to
hear
hear
it.
what they think. Yeah.
So for me, this was the Impossible. I put like I wrote on the bottom, but I don't like Impossible. It tastes too much like meat, and it's probably because I've been vegan for so long. But
Mhm.
I still like the Beyond, but generally do not feel good after I eat it. Like
Oh.
that night, I'll get like acid reflux and that kind of thing.
Do you think it's that?
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's if I have any like too processed type of food, it affects me.
Mhm.
I think I'm just too sensitive to it because I eat such a whole food plant-based diet normally.
Mhm.
That I'm just not used to processed stuff. But the Impossible just tastes too close to meat. I can't do it. Yeah, it's just
I think
has
that's
some-
their goal.
yeah, so they did a really good job about it. But yeah, so also, and then I was not a fan of this one at all, but I think it's because of the seasoning that they used. It just tasted too like a lot of like curry flavors. And I love curry, but it just, like that, if you want that kind of a flavor, it's
Mhm.
good. But if you want like a burger type flavor, it wasn't like a
Mhm.
burgery thing. I've had
Yes.
better black bean burgers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to know.
But it had a good structure and I cooked it in the air fryer. It was easy to do.
Mhm. Also, it
And-
didn't fall apart.
It did
Like-
not fall
like
apart.
burgers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the toppings that I did, I just had like gluten-free bread and then sauerkraut and a tomato and some mustard. But I find that when I eat them with sauerkraut, it helps my stomach
Yeah.
process it better. Like I don't get as sick from it. Because
Because
I
it
do
helps.
every once in a while like to have this stuff, like feel like I'm a
Mhm.
normal person and like, oh, I can join in on the barbecue and have a burger and
Mhm.
and and I do every once in a while like having it,
Mhm.
even though it makes me feel crabby.
That's a really good idea. Well, that's how I
Yeah.
felt like after having all three of those sliders last night, and then I had one earlier to
Mhm.
to try it, ahead of time before the
Mhm.
kids did, and then I was like, I don't want any more. I couldn't
Mm.
like it's the burger, but for me, I think it's also like the bun and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, my body does not like this. I don't want to do it again. Like it's
Yeah.
like a once a month kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think so too.
Mhm.
All right. So I tried them all, took a bite of each one.
Okay.
And I really think the best one that really tastes like a burger to me is the not burger.
Oh,
That was
Oh, is that the
boom.
one with all the fat?
that was like,
Oh,
whoa.
the fat.
Did I, and I started reading the ingredients, like, did I get this right? Did I buy a plant-based burger? That was amazing.
wow.
Because it tasted like a burger.
Yeah, it tastes like a burger. And it actually, when it was cooking, it like released juices that looked like it was bleeding. So I think that's from the beets, because there are beets in
Yeah.
it. This is gluten-free also and non-GMO, which I liked as well.
So
That was
can
my,
you go-
that was my,
Can you go
go
back
ahead.
to the fat in it? Cause I'm looking, so Impossible has 13 and
So-
then our Beyond has 10. And how much is
Yeah.
that one?
21,
21.
Wow.
one patty,
Oh,
The
I feel like
Beyond
I
that
would
I
get
have
sick.
has
270 calories.
Okay,
230.
230 and 160.
Okay,
These are
Yeah.
both 230.
yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
So
I feel like
a
I would get
lot
sick.
of fat, a lot,
Yeah.
and it looks like it comes from coconut oil and sunflower oil.
Hmm.
It's got cocoa powder in it. It's got red beet juice powder, chia protein, spinach powder, pea protein. That's the number one thing is like it's water and pea protein.
Wow.
So it's got a lot of fiber in it. It has 6 grams of dietary fiber. So that's high fiber.
Oh,
Which is
the Beyond
nice.
only has less than 1 fiber.
Yeah.
And the Impossible has 5 though.
Yeah. Okay. The Impossible has 5. So I think that was tasted the most like a burger. The let's see, this was the No Bull. The No Bull was my second one. That was the second best one. And this doesn't have any oil in it. This is 2.5 grams of fat. And it's made with organic green lentils and brown rice are the number 1 ingredients. That was okay. It wasn't like I make a better burger than that at home. This was
Okay.
the Abbott burger. I hated it. It tasted like it tasted almost gristly.
Yeah.
I did not like that was this one, the Abbott burger. It was all lump of stuff in it. I don't the Hillary burger, thin and wispy, and
Those are
more like
very popular here.
those are two, they're not like a burger. It's more like a chicken fillet or something to me.
Oh.
Very thin. And then the one that you guys, the actual burger, the black bean one, it was okay. But again, I wouldn't buy these because I can make a better burger than that at home. The only one that I think is worth it is the not burger because I can't make that at home. I can't make a burger like that tastes just like a burger. So
Will you share your burger recipe?
Yeah.
Yes. So it's not necessarily my recipe. I got it off the internet. But it kind of mimics the Impossible burger, but it's all healthy. It's not, you don't taste when you're chewing it, when you're eating it, you don't think you're eating a burger. Okay. I just can't, in order to do that, in order for you to be able to make a burger at home that tastes like a burger, you have to use a lot of fat, like, and a lot of processed ingredients. You just can't make that from natural foods. That's the thing to remember when you're eating an Impossible burger. It's not natural. Like there's a lot of stuff in there, but it's good for like, if you're having a barbecue and people are coming over, you're sticking to your, like, I'm not serving meat from this house. Those are good to offer to people. They'll eat them and then they'll try them. And
and that goes into why we're having them in the first place, because it is sustainable for the environment. Like, and that's the biggest key is if you want a burger, you don't have to compromise on compassion or the actual environment. And there are so many stats that I can give you. I just like pulled up what I put in Vegan 20, that one of the books that
read that.
And it's just a third of the land is desertified or like degraded due to livestock. And the water use is 5% domestic, 45% goes to animal agriculture. So like the resources that we're wasting for it. And then if you take, everybody knows the global greenhouse commission emissions it's more than 51% due to, well, I mean, you could go, I've seen 50%, 78% in as far as like what animal agriculture contributes as far as the greenhouse gas emissions go. And it ranges But it basically, if you think about what it takes to process an animal, you need water, you need land, you need feed, and you have to transport that feed. So all of that combined, and then the emissions that the cows, from the farts and the different, all the things from
Did you say
the
farts?
feed. Yeah. All that stuff contributes to that. And then if you think about the waste, just from the dairy cows is like waste from a farm of 2,500 dairy cows is the same as a waste of a city of 411,000 people. So 2,500 dairy farms versus a whole city of over 400,000 people, same amount of waste.
Mhm.
And then livestock also covers more than 45% of the Earth's land, which it's just not sustainable for us to actually feed our growing population animal products. We need alternatives just to be able to, because we're going and we're growing the feed, we're grazing the animals, and it's causing the degradation of the land. So then we can't keep, we're losing space to even grow it. And cutting down rainforests. So that's the next other one is like, if you go 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, that is 5 to 10 acres of rainforest that has just been cleared.
Oh,
Mhm.
And that's happening, every second, 1 to 2
Every second.
acres. And the animal agriculture is responsible for 91% of the rainforest destruction, which is part of the lungs to our planet. Also, even more so, the lungs is our ocean, which is being degraded just as much as far as, overfishing, and also the runoff from the animal agriculture that goes into the ocean, causing dead zones, water pollution, and habitat destruction. So then a number that is kind of crazy, more than 8 million land animals are killed for food every hour.
Hmm.
is that worldwide or in just the United States?
Worldwide?
Worldwide.
And I'm
Aw.
sure that these are numbers that I put in when I wrote the book. So who knows what they're at now.
Mhm.
And they don't count fish because fish are weighed by the ton. So it's really hard to factor in that aspect.
Oh.
But there are, our population is what, almost 8 billion.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And we slaughter over 70 billion land animals every year
Oh my
just for
gosh.
food to feed us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what kills me the most is when I think about the waste, like we don't even eat probably. I don't know. The waste is just crazy on the
I always
amount that
notice
we
that.
actually eat.
And I mean, even just going to restaurants, I always
I
notice
know.
that, like people leave plates full
Oh
of
my
food,
Yes.
like
It
mostly
drives
meat.
me
I'm like,
nuts.
how can you do that? How
I
can you?
know.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I know, it's like
Not
if they
valued at
bring me
all.
out a meal and it's like accidentally has cheese on it or it's a animal protein or something, I feel bad sending it back because then that means that it's just
Mhm.
in vain. It's going to go in the garbage,
Yeah.
And 95 to 99% of the animals that we consume in the US are from factory farms. And so just if you think about the industrially farmed and most pasture raised cows are sent to feedlots. So like, if you think about all of the cattle that are on a property, so like one feedlot has traditionally 100,000 cattle, say if they have 100,000 on there. That is, each cow has 65 pounds of manure a day. So if you take that times the 100,000, that's 6.5 million pounds of manure that the farmer has to get rid of on a daily
Oh my
basis.
goodness. Oh my God.
So when you think about, where does that go?
Where does this go?
Into our
And
streams and rivers. Gets all washed out.
yeah, so it's like, even if you're like, oh, I'm eating this and it's not great for me, just think about what you're doing for the planet,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and I don't know. I think it's kind of the most fun thing to share whenever I have people over that aren't vegan. I typically will just do burgers and I like,
Mhm.
no one ever hates it.
No, can I add something there?
Yeah.
I was talking to the boys last night, and the 6-year-old was like, "Why do we have to do this, Mom?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "You don't understand how lucky you are." Like when I became vegan or whole food
Mm.
plant-based, like there was
Mhm.
like one option and it wasn't that good. And
Mhm.
and I had real because like cheeseburger is my thing, or it
Mhm.
was. And I said, now you have all these options. And I was like, isn't this exciting? I said, this family, like our 5 kids and us, I said, we save the lives of 4 animals every single day because of
Mhm.
technology. Like, so if you want, like if you were raised on meat like I was and you're craving a burger, you could just have something that tastes like a
Mhm.
burger, and nothing had to be born to be your food, nothing had to be raised and live in terrible conditions, nothing had to be killed or slaughtered. Like you get to just go to the grocery store and benefit from all of this technology. And it was just like I think all of this is really exciting, regardless of whether some are healthier and some are not, because if it
Mhm.
I feel like that is only considering our health.
Mhm.
They're all healthier for the animals, like all of these options. And I just think it's really, really exciting that they've gotten so close. Like, oh my
Mm.
gosh, we made it. Now we have
It's
a viable
amazing.
solution where people can say, I love the taste of a meat burger. Well, great. You can get that just from this. Like, you don't even need meat. You can have an Impossible or Beyond. Like, I think it's fun for them to
Yeah,
It
I
understand.
mean,
is.
I think even for not even just beef, but chicken, I just can't believe the chicken alternatives that are out there that I can't even,
Are they
I have to,
good?
yes, like, I'm like,
Mhm.
this is not chicken? I don't
Um,
understand that,
we need
and
to test those because I
that's
haven't
another
tried
thing.
any of the chicken.
Oh my gosh, my daughter really likes all the different chickens. They have all kinds. They have fillets, they have, the
Mhm,
breaded kind, they have the nuggets.
mhm.
So, yeah, I think we should test the chicken as well.
Yeah, we eat
Yeah,
the
I can only
jackfruit
do
ones.
very few of them because most of them are with
Uh,
seitan,
yeah.
the gluten
Oh,
base. But I do
oh,
love the daring chicken.
yeah,
The
she loves that.
daring. My
Mhm.
With
son eats
mushroom. Yeah.
we do the jackfruit, the Jack and Annie's
Mhm.
Jackfruit. Yep.
patties.
Yeah, oh,
So I
yeah.
haven't, yeah, because I wasn't
Oh,
like a
that's
big
a good
chicken
idea.
picking. The jackfruit one's good. It's got like
Yeah.
fiber and
Yeah.
some other stuff. I just
Yeah.
think it's so, I feel like one day people are gonna look back on what we've done in our
Of course.
generation. I feel like that is so archaic. What were
I
they
know.
doing?
I
Like,
know. I
and now
know.
there's like,
Yeah.
it just feels so unnecessary
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. I
Which is-
agree.
Yeah,
Um,
well, if you think about cell-based meat, are you
Mhm.
guys real familiar with it?
A little bit.
little
From
bit,
what
a
I
little bit.
understand, like they take cells from an actual animal and
Mhm.
then
They
multiply
culture
them.
them. They
Well, it
culture them
And
and
depends. Like
yeah.
for a chicken, all they need is a feather, so the chicken
Mhm.
isn't even harmed.
Yeah.
Just take a feather and they
mhm.
can grow it in in the lab.
Culture. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, they can grow that cell and turn it into actual chicken
Meat.
And it
meat.
Yeah.
produces that one feather can produce an
Mhm.
infinite amount of meat.
I think it's I can't remember the stats on it, but it can go very, very, very far on
Yeah,
like 100, 300,000 chickens
from
or
a
something like
feather.
that just from a feather. Don't quote me, but it's pretty amazing how far it can go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then they just take, a blood sample, from the cow and it doesn't really hurt them
Mhm.
compared to having them
Yes.
Yes.
slaughtered.
Yeah, I have something to say about processing because
Mhm.
well, I teach whole food, plant-based nutrition classes, but we
Mhm.
also talk about these healthier alternatives. And,
Mhm.
and someone will say to me, or they'll say something on social media like, oh, this is so very processed. This is so very
Mhm.
processed. Like, and I've seen these memes or whatever where they list
Mhm.
all the ingredients in a plant burger, and then the ingredient in an animal burger is meat or beef. And,
Good
and
point.
I talk about that with my kids. I'm like, how can we say, so let's take Impossible, like very
Mhm.
processed, right?
Mhm.
But then if we look at a cow, I'm like, that's a living being that had to be artificially impregnated to get that cow,
Mhm.
right? So like a female cow was raped somewhere along the way. and then it's born, and then we have to feed it. And like, that's a tremendous amount of processing for it to eat grain or corn or soy or whatever, just to produce this muscle tissue. And
Oh
then
yeah.
everything it goes through in slaughter. And most people don't know, like a lot of times they when they're slaughtering so fast, they nick the intestines so that there's species and bacteria mixed in with the meat. And it's all very unhygienic anyway. I don't know how somebody can look at a burger and say this is not a processed food. Like it would, like you can't just slice it off the cow and it's ready to go. You know, but even if you could,
Yeah.
there's so much processing along the way, and people aren't thinking about hormones that come from it,
Right.
and they've shown like the adrenaline and the fear hormones that come, and the cortisol
Yeah.
that comes out that's in the meat because the cow is terrified at slaughter.
Mhm.
There's so many other things that are not, on the dang nutrition label
Mhm.
that are not representing meat as it fully is.
Well, and the
So,
Well-
feed that we're feeding them, they're allergic to. It makes them sick.
Right.
So then we have to give them antibiotics, which they love to do because then it makes them grow faster.
mhm.
Well, I think
Yeah.
meat is an acronym. It's
For
it's
what?
not it's not
Mm.
it's an acronym. It's not a one ingredient. Meat is
Mhm.
is a conglomerate of all these different things.
Mhm.
So they're just, you could just say plant and meat, okay? So a plant,
Yeah.
it's an acronym too, because the plant's made up of all these different components, and so is a meat. So for them to just put the word meat and then list all the things in the burger, all the plants in the burger, is really
Yeah.
not, it's comparing apples to oranges, because they
Yeah.
need to break down the meat into all the components that meat is made up of: protein, enzymes, steroids, hormones,
IGF.
yeah, IGF, bacteria, viruses, pathogens, that's what,
All
that's
that,
what
but then people wouldn't buy it, Patricia. They can't put that on the
I know. Well,
label.
that's the problem, is reality is a crutch,
Yeah. I think this is exciting times. It's not sustainable. It's not
Yeah.
sustainable what we're this current model. And so there has to be, I feel
Yeah.
like there's this surge, and now that we've reached yep, that tastes like meat. That legit tastes like meat. It's like
Mhm.
I feel like the floodgates are open for like, because there's just not enough room. There's not enough water and resources to continue to grow
Yeah.
it the way that it's traditionally grown. Like those days are over.
Well,
know?
I have to say that our little research project that we did here, I'm shocked that there were that many. I figured I'm going to go to the
Yeah.
store, I'm going to find Beyond, Impossible, and maybe one or two others, and I was like,
Yeah.
whoa. I spent like $30 just sampling all of them. I'm like, I got this. I'm walking down the grocery aisle. I'm like, oh my God. Travis is like, where did you find all them? I'm like, look at all these. I have 5 new brands. So
Mhm.
it's just, you're right. The floodgates have opened, and I think everybody's jumping in, which is good, because the more options people have, like some people may like the thinner burger, the crispier
Mhm.
burger. Some people may like the more veggie tasting burger or the curry tasting burger. Some people want the meatier burger. So it's nice that there's lots of different options out there. So I think I'm very excited too. I think this is a wonderful time to be
Mhm.
open-minded and exploring and being more aware of what our environment is right now and where it could be, with us
Yeah.
all just making different choices.
Yeah, there's a new Jimmy Dean even.
Oh, I did see
They sell
that.
those frozen breakfast sandwiches.
Mhm.
So it's not fully plant-based, but I was excited the other day at Kroger. I saw like all the Jimmy Dean breakfast sandwiches, and then they have one and they use Beyond in it.
Mhm.
It still has the egg and the cheese, but I thought, here it comes,
That's a
it's
step.
coming. Yeah, and they use it in the croissant one too.
Mhm.
So it's, my parents eat that sometimes. I'm like, that's
Mhm.
it's a step.
Hey, it
I'm like,
is.
just take the egg off, feed that to the dog or something.
There's just egg in there. Put a little just egg.
I know it needs just egg, and then it needs some vegan cheese. But I mean,
Yeah.
if a company like Jimmy Dean is recognizing it, and apparently they're pretty popular here because they always have good shelf space in our
Yeah.
grocery stores. So I
Mhm.
think that's like it's getting their attention for
Mhm.
sure.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, what
It's
did I
very
have?
good.
I had 5 bites, and I'm like,
I don't know
Yeah.
about that 21 grams of fat.
A
I
lot of
think I
fat.
would get sick. I think I
Oh, I
would.
took one bite and I just know that I need to dilute this with my salad. I know I need a dilution. It's the solution to my pollution, girls.
Well, so my question
Yeah.
is, okay,
Yeah.
so how is it healthier for us, right? What are the benefits of eating it over regular plant-based meats other than, okay, yeah, it's sustainable, it's cruelty free, but two of the best ones are that it's zero cholesterol
Mhm.
and there is no trans fat.
Yeah.
And something interesting, like from that, the whole reason that we're triggered to do this talk is from what Dr. Greger was saying, is how pretty much trans fats are being phased out of our food environment. So the only source of trans fat that we're going to end up having is
Animals. Yeah. This is actually exciting.
it comes
I
from
think
animals. That's it.
Yeah, I think it just happened 2 years ago. They
Mm-hmm.
banned trans fats in like oil, like hydrogenated oils and stuff. That's real. That's a result of consumers coming forward and saying that they didn't want trans fats and all that. And so that's the only one left. I think that's really interesting. So
Yeah, and-
another difference besides cholesterol would be, and by the way, I looked up how much fat because I was concerned about Patricia's 21 grams. So I looked up how much is in a regular, just your average quarter-pound burger, and it's 21 to 29 grams.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's about the same amount of fat in a regular burger.
Okay.
But to answer your question, besides cholesterol, I mean fiber. There's an opportunity
right.
for fiber in these, which I think is
Mhm.
really important, especially the Impossible
True.
one if you want a meaty solution. But then a lot of the veggie-ish ones have a lot more
Mhm.
fiber in them, so that's good. And I feel very comfortable saying lower fat. Even the Impossible had 13, so I guess that's an improvement. But then the veggie, this one that people liked was
Oh,
only
yeah.
1.5 grams.
Yeah.
And that's like my kids of the black
Yep.
bean ones, that's their favorite.
Yeah,
So
and that I
that's
think that one-
huge. And
that
the
one didn't even have oil in it, so
right, and there's no
that really-
saturated fat, which I think
so
is
that's
more
really
important.
pretty. That's really a
is
pretty
good.
healthy source just to have as a backup in your freezer. You know,
Yeah.
so that if you don't feel like making
Nice
your
to have.
own batch of burgers, that's what
Yeah.
I would. That's what I would load up and make
And if
sure I have
you're
those.
Yeah, if you're making it the healthy way, like Patricia's way, she's going to show us, or this brand, I'm sorry. The
Yeah.
I
Put it
can't
in
get it right.
front, yeah.
The
Actual
actual
burgers, yeah.
veggies,
But I
yeah.
want to like listen to the ingredients.
Yeah.
Black bean, carrot, parsnip, oats, yellow onion, red pepper, red onion. I mean, that means that
Yeah.
we're also getting some beta carotene, some vitamins and phytonutrients, which there's no opportunity for that in a regular beef burger.
Yep.
So, I mean, I could see this being like, someone could have this one regularly, even though
Yeah.
they didn't
Mhm.
make it at home. These are all
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
foods
Yeah.
stuck
There's
together.
no fat.
They could have, yeah. And
It's
there's
6 grams of fiber.
yeah, like this could be a healthy, I could see myself, even though I don't love veggie burgers, I could see myself eating this like when I'm in a pinch and
Yeah.
maybe I
Yeah.
don't have beans ready. I just
Mhm.
need something filling. Like I could totally, I
Mhm.
think I'm going to start buying this one for that
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
Because
me too.
it's
Mhm.
literally just whole foods mixed together. And there's a lot of, gosh, I mean, that's a really great way to do it. Especially
is.
Yeah.
with no saturated fat.
And you could
Yeah.
even add it to a bowl rather than
Yep.
actual like on bread.
Yep.
You could just
Yeah.
put it in, mix it with other veggies or
Yeah.
on a salad, mix it
On a
in like a
salad.
warm salad.
I think I would do a salad because ours, it
Mhm.
did kind of fall apart for us, the texture.
Oh, did it? Mine
Yeah,
didn't.
I also
how'd you
think
cook it?
I just
you
cooked it on a
remember?
griddle. I didn't try the
Okay.
air fryer.
I
But
It
put it in
stayed
the-
pretty firm in the air fryer.
Yeah, I put it
Okay.
in this is
Yeah.
mine. Oh, you can't see it. Looks like I'm holding magic.
Oh, it
but
is staying together.
yeah,
Okay,
it's
so
very
maybe that's
firm.
what
I
it's
baked
meant
it.
for.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
maybe my griddle method, I was thinking like, oh, this has a nice flavor. Like I would stir it into my cooked lentils or cooked beans. Like
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I just think
Oh.
that's a good hack one.
Yeah.
That's a good hack
I
one.
agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, actually have good stuff. So huge difference between, I mean, not to mention, the life that was
Yeah.
required
Well,
to grow and live a life and then died. I mean,
And
that's-
because there's no life involved that, that we've killed, then you're not getting extra hormones, the added
Yeah.
hormones or, what else was the other one? I had it written down here. Antibiotics.
Antibiotics, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Because 80% of antibiotics that are made in this country go to the factory farms.
Yeah. Well,
lot.
and then
Yeah.
the whole problem with animal protein and what that's tied to. And as it breaks down in our digestive system, our gut creates something called TMAO, which is a very, very newly recognized, but very strong marker. You can get your TMAO measured in your blood, just your blood taken. It's a very strong marker for heart disease, cardiovascular disease. So like this is not going to break down into TMAO. So if you call this, if you call my burger processed, like technically you're counting processed as cutting up a whole bunch of veggies and mashing them together. Like very, that I wouldn't call that processed at all.
That's just convenience.
Hardly. Yeah.
That's good convenience, like a smart convenience.
Like buying the salad in the bag, like somebody cut it for you, we'll stick it together. So you don't have the TMAO, you don't have the antibiotics, the hormones, but also I think the cortisol and the adrenaline and stuff that comes out. That's an issue. Yeah, animal protein is also very hard on the kidneys as well. The way it breaks down and the byproducts that it creates are not good for the kidneys, whereas something like this would benefit the kidneys because it's got plant protein, but it's not super high in protein because we don't need as much protein as we're getting. So I think there's massive, massive benefits. I do want to say something. I met somebody who was, I'm gonna call him vegan, not whole food plant-based, and he had gout. It's like,
Wow.
like I was like, they don't, plant-based people don't get gout like that. How'd you get gout? And then I started talking to him, and he was eating this stuff every day, multiple times a day.
Oh, no.
Like that's all, like he didn't eat beans, he didn't eat whole, so that's why I'm calling him vegan, not whole food plant-based. Because he like, and so he was getting, I mean, a lot of fat. And honestly, it was just like a nutrient deficient diet. I felt like I was like, okay, so you're not really getting a lot of fiber, you're not eating any beans, you're not eating many vegetables, you're doing like this on bread with veggie cheese, so you're just getting massive amounts of fat. I'm like, oh, okay, so I can see how you have gout. But he's like,
and French fries too, probably on top of that.
I was like, you're literally the only like vegan person with gout like that. We need to change that. Like that's, so I do want that caveat. I'm not saying that you should have this stuff every day, but if he was having this instead, he would not have gotten gout. I feel like he could have this every day, be totally fine, and probably get more fiber than the rest of America did.
Yeah. No, I'm excited.
Very good
I'm excited
point. Yeah, which is a good transition into what are the better alternatives? You know, like of the ones that we've had, how are they healthier? Because like another thing that I was really curious about was Impossible burgers are GMO soy. And I was like kind of concerned about that aspect because I try to eat organic as much as possible because I don't want Roundup in my food or glyphosate. So I for that reason, I've always steered away, like not brought the Impossible Burger as much, just because I don't want those extra the chemicals.
Yeah. Are you asking me like personally or like for what I would recommend for everybody?
Yeah, no, I think what we'd recommend that are probably the healthiest. If you compared, like, say, if you compared Beyond with Impossible, which one do you think is better for us?
I mean, I think the Beyond is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would say technically, but I don't want to eat it. I mean, I'm gonna speak for food addicts for a minute, for people who like eat their feelings like me. The Beyond and the other, like I'll eat the good ones. I'll eat the healthy ones too. But I feel like if I'm gonna go, I mean, Beyond I wouldn't call healthy. It may be healthier than Impossible, but I feel like if I'm in this zone and not in the healthy veggie zone, then I probably wouldn't eat the Beyond. I would just go with the Impossible. I'm not gonna. But health wise, I mean, I don't see a whole lot of, I mean, I'm not gluten-free though. I think that's really awesome actually that Beyond is gluten-free and soy-free. I think that's really awesome because a lot of people, like my husband's gluten-free, one of my sons,
Oh, these are all gluten-free, yeah, even Impossible.
I mean, I would classify
Impossible,
those
okay.
two types of burgers as junk food. Junk food
Yeah.
vegan. That's what I classify. There's no health aspect of it. Yes, is there
Right.
an environmental aspect of it? Yes, but there's no health aspect of that. So I don't,
Well,
I wouldn't even want to say that confusing message that
Okay, good point.
Beyond is better than Impossible, because then people be like, oh, okay, so I don't know.
But
It's
I
just my
also wouldn't
opinion.
want to say they're definitely healthier than regular
Regular.
beef.
Mhm.
For
Oh,
sure.
yeah, I mean, I'm just saying
Yeah.
for vegan, if you're looking at
Right.
vegan health wise, if you're a
Mhm.
vegan health wise, I feel like those are, I classify those as junk food. And it's okay, but it's
Mhm.
not, don't look for that as your health. Don't
Good
think
point.
that you're improving your
Yeah.
health by eating that, because
Mhm.
it's like you're trading one damage for another, because yes, if you eat an animal product, you have all those repercussions of the animal and everything, but you're still contributing badly to your health by eating those two types of burgers. You're not improving your health by eating those burgers. And I don't want to be a proponent of it, but I think you're doing the environment better by eating
Mhm.
those choices.
Well, I think they could just look at the ingredients and
Yeah.
when it says whole food, like when it says quinoa or rice or
Mm.
beans, they'll know. That's a good way, I feel like, to
Yeah.
know, like, is this burger healthy? But I do think it's for me, but I understand what you're saying, and I teach health, but I was saying for me mentally, it's mentally healthier for me to be able to indulge once a
Yes.
month or so
Absolutely.
with an Impossible burger that I
Yep.
really, that
Mhm.
brings me joy. But knowing, like,
Yeah.
I can do this because the rest of my
Yeah.
diet is so awesome.
Yeah.
It
No,
goes
that's
back
the
to
same.
Patricia's saying of dilution.
Dilution is a solution to pollution.
That's
No, but I did
perfect.
want to bring up this one, the no bull, because
Yeah.
this is actually the healthier of, because this doesn't have any oil in it. It's equal
Okay.
to the actual burger in
Hmm.
terms of its ingredients. No oil, 2.5 grams of fat, and it's got no added sugars and 7 grams of fiber.
And that was
So-
your second choice, right? Right
I
after
think
that.
this was,
oil?
yeah, this was my second choice after
Can
that,
you
the no
hold
burger.
it? Hold
I'm
it for
sorry.
Well,
a
that's
second.
interesting. I'll have to try
I'm
that
gonna
one.
look for that. No
Yeah.
Bowl, the true veggie burger.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said did it taste close to like a real burger?
It had the consistency, but
Okay.
it tasted a little bit more, it tasted a little bit more vegetable-y than
Okay.
the
Interesting.
not burger.
Yeah.
Burger. That was amazing, but I would never eat that. But that's
And
a good alternative. But anyway.
For our listeners, I would love to hear what your favorite burger
Yes.
is. And if there's one that you really love that we haven't talked about,
Mhm.
please share with us.
Thank you, everybody.
That's awesome.
That was a good one.
All right. Thank you.